Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals, welcome back to Budget with Ira. My name is, shockingly, Ira, and on this channel, shockingly, I like to budget. I am on a debt-free journey because I'm an idiot and I racked up to over £10,000 worth of debt and I need to pay that off so that me and my boyfriend can fulfill our dream of owning our first home together. If you would like to support me in that dream, please consider subscribing to this channel because I would love for it to be a side hustle, but I ain't gonna do that with only 60 subscribers. I appreciate every single subscriber, so come on board, join the fun, it's great here. In today's video, we're checking in for week 3 of June's budget. Can I get real with you guys a sec? I'm having a really tough time at the moment with my budget. I keep on beating myself up about really small things, and the thing I'm currently beating myself up about is an unbudgeted spend that happened this week, and I'm annoyed that I'm annoyed at myself. So I had an unbudgeted spend this week of £13 something. Me and my boyfriend had a meal from McDonald's and I'm really annoyed at myself, and I need to not be, and I need to not beat myself up about it because it's £13. I had to have a serious talking with myself today because I'm making myself feel really rubbish about it and I shouldn't. It hasn't derailed me from debt repayment, it hasn't done anything negative to me at all. It just means that I can't pay a certain amount that I'd like to my credit card this month. And I need to get to a place where I need to accept that mistakes and accidents happen. Today I was watching Jaywhackers, and if you don't follow her or anything, you need to seriously follow her. I'll put a link in this video because she had a really tough week last week. Jaywhackers is an absolutely fantastic budget YouTuber. She is one of the women that has inspired me to have my own channel. I just love what she does. I think she's great. But anyway, she had a really tough week this week, and she's like put loads on the plastic. Like, she's had a really tough week and she's put herself into more debt after she's done really well, and she's really beating herself up about it. And I'm doing the same over £13.30, and I need to just not be an idiot basically. She can get out of her situation really easily. I can get out of a £13 situation so easily. I think the mistake that I've made though, when I've done my budget, I've gone way up to the line. I've built in zero buffer whatsoever, so that when I do have a tough month like this, it's actually really hard to recover from £10 overspent. So looking at July, I need to build a little buffer in there, and then if I don't use that buffer, I need to sort of treat it as a bit of a bonus towards whatever I want it to be, whether it's actually I need to treat myself for not having overspent so I can have a takeaway or something like that, or I can pay it to debt or something like that. But looking at July's budget, I am gonna try to build in about £30 worth of buffer, because when I don't have that safety net, I am bound to mess up, aren't I? So anyway, I've spoke to myself about that, and today's gonna be a great video. So, in case I haven't said it already, today we are checking in for week 3's budget, and it's gone all right. I had a bit of an overspend, spoiler alert, but other than that, let's have a look at what I did. So if you'd like to know how I managed to make £11 odd of groceries last me for the week, please keep on watching. Okay guys, gals and non-binary pals, we're here in June's budget. This is what I call a bootleg budget, so because I can't afford an Erin Condren or Plum Paper or Happy Planner or anything like that, I make it from home. If you want to know how I made this, I'm going to link that in the cards. So today we are checking in for week 3. I get paid every 4 weeks, so this pay week runs from the 18th to the 24th. Shall we get started? So the first thing I like to do before I check in with all of my cash envelopes is to have a look at bills and debt and what I've paid off in that week. So let's start with bills. So for bills, only one came out, and that was car insurance on the 19th, and that was bang on £23.37. Which is exactly what we planned. And then moving on to debt. So on the 21st, my payment for car 1 came out, which was £169.49. And for credit card, As I said in my last check-in, which I'll link in the cards, some of my bills were a little bit more than what I expected, so because of that I am a little bit adrift in terms of my budget, and it looks like about £40, but I don't want to commit to anything in terms of a whole number for credit card payment, because if any of these are a little bit over, I'm going to be really short and I'm going to default on something. So this week I decided to just pay the minimum amount, which was £64.49. Now what I'm going to do is, after all of these have come out on the 1st, I'm going to see what I have left over in my account and pay everything I have left in my account over to credit card. So it's probably going to be about £40 short, and I hope to make that up in the next budget, but I'll see how it goes. But things like that happen. So my lesson for July's budget is to not fly so close to the sun and to leave a tiny bit of buffer just in case these sort of things happen. But anyway, on the 22nd I paid £64.49. I'm not going to put anything in here because that's not the final amount that I'm going to put in there. Okay, so that's bills and debt done for last week. It wasn't very much. Anyway, let's take a look at the cash envelopes. Okay, so here we are in the weekly check-in. In the weekly check-in, I like to look at my spending and my petrol. I don't look at my boyfriend's spending or his petrol because he's a grown-up and he is actually capable of managing his money, completely unlike me. I look at groceries, my social budget, and any unbudgeted spends as well. As you can see, I didn't leave myself very much, but I've had an okay week, so I'd like to share that with you. What I will do is start by saying that I didn't add anything into my cash envelopes because there is nothing to add into. Even if I wanted to add more in, there's just no money about. So let's zero out all of these. Okay, let's start with spending. So on the 18th I had lunch, which was £2.15. That sounds like all I had for lunch was Red Bull, which is probably accurate. On the 19th, lunch was £2.55. On the 20th, lunch was £3.42. Two things, I've run out of expense tracker stickers, but I've also run out of sticker paper. So what I am doing is going even more bootleg, is I am printing out expense tracker stickers and I am gluing them down. So on the 21st, lunch was £4.84. You'd never know. On the 22nd, I bought some bits for dinner, which were £4.46. I would normally use my groceries fund for that, but because I didn't have very much, I wanted to use my own money because it wasn't very much money and I had it there. And on the 23rd, I bought a Red Bull in the morning because I had a very early day and I had lunch at home. Okay, so moving back to the check-in, last week I spent £19.36 of my spending money, which should leave me with £12.12. There's the 10, £12, 10, 12, absolutely spot on. Am I concerned about only having £12 for the next week? A little bit, but I'm sure I'll be fine. Okay, so moving over to groceries. As I alluded to it earlier on, I wanted to supplement groceries last week with my own spending money, which I did on a couple of days. So where you see lunch was £4.84, it wasn't truly £4.84. Lunch was probably about £2, and then I bought bread or something like that, but it all came from the spending pot. So in terms of my groceries money, I actually had 0 transactions last week because other than sort of like milk and bread, maybe some eggs, I didn't actually need anything, so I didn't do anything with it. So I spent £0, so I should have exactly £11.23 left over. So let's take a look. So that's 10. And here's all those bloody coins again. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, that's 11, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 23, 11.23, exactly as it should be. Now this will get spent next week. Okay, moving over to petrol. I did spend my last of my petrol money last week, which was £40, which is really weird because I've got basically a full tank now for a whole week, so I think I might have a bit of a light month next month on petrol. So I spent 40, which should leave me with 0. I have nothing to show you because as I said in last week's check-in, I am now going to pay for petrol with my debit card. I'm going to move it into a separate debit account and spend it from there so that I don't go crazy with it. It just feels easier for me at the moment. If things start to go wrong, I'll move it back into cash, but it seems to have worked quite well for me this month. So that petrol spend was on the last day of the pay period. Okay, moving over to social, I had no money, so I couldn't spend anything, so I didn't spend anything, so there were no social spends, which should leave me with 0. And here's my little social envelope, nothing in there. And then, unbudgeted, I did have an unbudgeted spend, and now that I've talked myself through it, I actually feel a bit okay about it. So it was £13.30, and I'm not going to beat myself up about it, which left me to roll over minus £13.30 because I shouldn't have spent that. That was on the 21st. Okay, so that was small enough that I could be able to pay for it in a combination of spending and groceries money, but I just don't want to. This last week is going to be as lean as anything anyway, so I don't want to make it even worse. Can you imagine if I only had like £9 to live on for a week? I'm not doing that, so I'm going to leave that as an unbudgeted spend and a lesson to myself, and I'm going to move on. Okay, so let's have a look at what I spent. So I spent £72.66 last week, which doesn't seem like a lot, especially compared to the 2 previous weeks, but £13.30 of it I shouldn't have been spending anyway. And I have £23.35 for the last week. That's a bit of a stretch. Okay, so let me move these figures into week 4. Okay, so when I look at next week, spending I can make work quite comfortably. Groceries will be a stretch, but I've managed to spend 0 this week. So if I just make sure that I get the basics in, if I need any basics, I'll be absolutely fine. I don't need any petrol because I have a full tank for 1 week, which is way more than enough. Social, I'm quite satisfied to have no social events this week because I know that there's going to be a nice big buffer next week because we're looking at the budget for my birthday, so it's going to be lovely. And as long as I have no more unbudgeted spends, I will be okay with this £13.30. Now, if it goes off the rails this week, I will be very upset, so I'm going to make sure that I don't do that. Hi guys, gals and all Minecraft, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. I didn't mention it at the start of the video, but today's video was sponsored by the colour. And again, that will make sense in the future. I feel like when I tell you what this is all about, you're going to be like, oh, that, fine. But trust me, it's something I'm excited about. Anyway, if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. Every single subscriber makes a huge difference to me and helps me towards my goal of buying a house. July's budget is coming up, so if you are a subscriber, please ring that notification bell so you get alerted the very second that I put that up, because I am going to make some changes in my approach to how I budget for the month. Other than that, I have nothing else to say, but I'm sure I'm boring you at this point. Have a wonderful week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.